everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand, head to the floor, we gon' dance. And when we get there, best believe we're gonna do a two-step. Ain't no drama in here, so don't stress. Step to the right, then side to the left.
Good evening and welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. We are back to kick off Season 8. We are bringing the latest and hot topics, fashion, movie reviews, sports, and of course the best indie music out there. Now, tonight we also welcome actor Jose Tony Garcia, who is now in the new series, the Showtime series, The Chi. And then Tye and Savage will welcome them later on. They'll talk about their new podcast, the Articulate Podcast. That will definitely make you laugh, and they teach you something in the meantime. But stick around. We're here again, hot topics, talking about everything going on from the Women's March to some of the Monique wanting us to boycott Netflix, and just a lot of interesting stuff that's going on in the news. So glad to be back. I want to remind you we're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com. Listen, the question of the day is, do you believe that we should know what our colleagues make? So tweet us at Stephen Knight Show, SHO, and let us know your thoughts. When we come back, hot topics, right back after this.
Staring at the ceiling, girl, you and I, how many licks just to get to your center? When I beat that batter, girl, I'ma fry them cakes with a cast iron skillet. You wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get up, oh, you can't get away. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast and gas. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast and gas. Go hard like this all day. It feels so good when we shake and bake. When you curl your toes and you grab my hand, this is the sound when we baking, man. Wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Season 8. Yeah. How I know it seems like it's been a while. Me and you caught up earlier this year, but how were your holidays and everything?
It was amazing. I went to the West Coast, spent some time with my family in Vegas and California, and hung out with Mel for New Year. So it was great. But the holiday season is always good. How was yours?
Mine was good. went home to Virginia. I saw my brother and my dad. I saw my 2 nieces. My BFF, baby Erin. She and I hung out. Yeah. I was teaching her how to ride her bike she got for Christmas. That was fun. And then New Year's Eve, I did nothing New Year's Eve, but at New Year's Day, I kind of made up for it. But it was good. It was good little break. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Right. What's up, Chicken? How was your holiday?
Yo, bro. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Miss Parker.
Happy New Year. How was your holiday?
My holiday, listen, I've been telling everyone, tranquility, quiet.
That's what's up. Yes.
Nothing. I even took a break from social media. I blacked myself out from Christmas to New Year's, maybe a little bit after New Year's. I didn't come back until maybe that second week in January.
Wow.
That was very liberating, very liberating.
I bet it was. I definitely bet it was.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot going on. Anything you can share? I know sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So anything you can share?
Well, yeah, the New Year's here now, so I think I talked about it a little bit in 2017, but yes, I am the brand ambassador to Chike Nutrition.
Wow, congratulations.
Chike, pretty much like my name, Chike, Chike, which was a win-win for me because all of the product has my name all over it, so it works for me.
Absolutely.
But since I started using the product, I'll say this. When I started, I was 200 pounds. You may not know it by looking at me, but I was. And now I'm down to 178.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about it. I'm going to try to have Mr. Just Right, who is a representative from the company, come on and talk more about it. I just want to be the show pony. That's all that I'm getting contracted to do. That's all I want to do.
Well, congratulations on all your success with that.
That's great.
Great. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Hey, I'm gonna just say this while I can. In the spirit of thankfulness and Happy New Year, thank you, Stephen Knight, for allowing me, again, another season, 8 years, to be a part of this family and this journey of yours. None of this other stuff could have possibly happened for me if it wasn't for the Stephen Knight Show.
Well, I definitely appreciate you. You already know I tell you all the time you do so much for the show, and the show wouldn't be what it is without you. So I thank you and everyone for their contribution each week. It definitely I can't believe it's been 8 seasons. I mean, we're on our 8th season. It's crazy. But
wow.
Even though Ms. Parker always threatens to quit every end of season.
I haven't said it yet, but I was thinking about it.
Me, her, and Aaron went to lunch, and they both threatened to quit.
Oh, no.
Well, it's funny because, we have, later on the show, we have Tye and Savage of the Articulate podcast, and Adam knows Tye. And so he texted me the other day when we put out who's going to be on today's show. He said, "Oh, Tye has a new podcast? I wanted to need someone for movie reviews." I said, "Okay, Adam." That boy crazy. All right, well, our question of the day is, should people know what their colleagues are making? And this was actually a very heated conversation on my Facebook page. Ms. Parker, I know you comment. What are your thoughts on this?
No, I don't. I really don't see the point of somebody knowing what each other is making, except unless they're friends. I know you and I work together and we talk about it, but that's different. We don't mind sharing that information, but I don't think it's necessary for someone to know what the other person is making. I think some of the arguments on Facebook was that, well, we all, minority and women are being paid less, so might as well join forces and fight the power. But if we're already aware that we're getting paid less, then what does it matter that person know the exact amount the other person is making? That one person knows the exact amount the other person is making. I just don't see where it's beneficial.
Okay. What about you, Chike?
It's so funny that you bring this up because this is something that I want to talk about in the movie segment.
Okay.
So I don't think it's something that should be talked about. Actually, in any job that I've ever worked, if you were found to have talked about it, it's grounds for dismissal. They don't want you talking about it. But I will say this. I think that people should be aware of what the pay scale is for your position. And you should be at least making what's inside that scale. Mm-hmm. And you need to balance whatever it is that, like the years of experience and your expertise, according to the scale of the range, within that range. Yeah. Well, and I'll go further. I'm sorry. I'll go further on to say if you're going to go get a new job and you go in and you're negotiating your salary, human resources is always going to lowball you. They're always because they're going to try to get you for the cheapest rate. Know your worth. Know your worth. Do your research and go after what it is that you want because they're going to lowball you. You extreme highball them, and then maybe you can meet somewhere in the middle.
Well, it's interesting. This came out because Monique, she's asking for a boycott against Netflix. She said that they are gender and race-based, accusing the service of gender and race-based pay gaps. Now, she reportedly was offered a $500,000 comedy special where Amy Schumer was offered $11 million and negotiated $13 million. Dave Chappelle was offered $20 million. Now, Amy Schumer says she doesn't expect to get with Dave Chappelle. She calls him a legend, but she thought that, she deserves the $13 million that she got. Monique, of course, got the $500,000, and she turned away from the offer because she said that if she takes this, being an Oscar winner, the people that come behind her, they'll offer them less. Now, after she went public with this, Wanda Sykes told Monique via Twitter that Netflix offered her less than half of the $500,000 for her Netflix special. She walked away and ended up getting a better deal from Epix instead.
But that's how you move. That's how you move. So I'm not a big fan of Monique because I feel like she hoop and holler too much. And I'm a very outspoken person as an individual myself within my career and in my life. Uh-huh. But how she goes about doing things is very unprofessional. And I think she's lost her audience. So a lot of her audience, what Monique doesn't take into account is she's a bit delusional. She doesn't see herself as everybody else does, right? So she has this sense of grandeur just because she won an Oscar. She holds that over everybody's head, but she doesn't count the fact that she's been unprofessional on sets over and over. People don't like working with her. A lot of the audience that she's targeting on Netflix who will watch the Chappelle or Chris Rock wouldn't watch her. Probably less than half of their audience will actually be an audience that will watch her. She doesn't sit there really. She doesn't have any sense of self-reflection, right? Now, do I think $500,000 is lowballing? Yeah. But that's something you negotiate within your team, and you turn it down, and you go somewhere else like Wanda Sykes did. She didn't hoop and holler and whatever. She knew her worth, and she took it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, what I would, my advice to Monique would have been, because I agree with you, Ms. Parker, I think that she's putting too much stock into this Oscar. Yes, you do have the Oscar, but what have you really done since you won the Oscar?
Well, she says she's one of the most celebrated comedians alive.
That's not true. No one I know likes her.
That's a negative. That's a negative. She's the one with the most turmoil and the most controversy. But you first of all, you pissed off my Auntie O.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't piss off Auntie O. She's the entertainment queen. You can't do that to her. That's one.
When you go against Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, you're asking for suicide.
No. You can't do that. And the second, it is. It's
so
very.
The thing is, she turns people off. So even people who may have liked her, I was never a Monique fan as far as her comedy and what she does. But I was happy for her and proud of the fact that she won. That was kind of a thing where she could have taken that to a different level in a more humble way. But the moment she won that award, she started going off on people, tweeting about different producers and directors while she was on set. It's like she completely lost it. And within that, the audience that was holding on to you and hoping that you may be a serious actor and may go down that road and thought maybe your acting skills better than your comedy skills, you lost them.
You know, my advice would have been she should have took it, because Monique has to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, and 500,000. You would have to eat that one. But this is where you get them. You take the 500,000, that little payment that you claim that you have, and blow them out the water with whatever special that you do. Blow them out the water so they'll demand more of you. They're going to want you to come back if you kill them. You know,
right.
Dave Chappelle had a 3-set deal. There were 3 different sets that he did.
Right.
Yeah. They were just asking one from her. Yeah, I'd have blew him out the water with the one.
Right.
Tore him down. You'd have been in demand. People would have been seeing you. Your face would have been out there in the masses. Where are you seeing Monique now? Except for YouTube, her husband do that
podcast.
That little post that they do.
Yeah, I think.
And she's listening to him. He's her manager.
Who are you saying, Ms. Parker?
Does she really think somebody's going to now pick up her special? No, not one network, big, small, medium, is going to pick her up now, because now everyone's like, oh my God, she just went off on Netflix. You know, like everyone's walking on eggshells. Wanda went ahead and got her money, secured the bag, then she gave a statement.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not saying that. You know, there aren't the injustice as far as pay inequality when it comes to women, especially and minority, and especially minority women.
Black women, yeah.
Just how she handles her business, though, is not helping the cause.
Right. Because the thing, she was on Sway's radio show, what's it called? He was on his show. And she was talking. She made good points on why she didn't take the money, but again, it's the way that she did it. And that kind of turned her off. So let's go to another story real quick, which is in the same realm. Tracee Ellis Ross, over the last few days, people have been saying that she's been threatening to leave Blackish because of the pay, the pay difference between her and Anthony Anderson, who co-stars with her. But she actually spoke out and said that's not true. She said that she loves Blackish. The thing is, she was renegotiating her contract because it's been 4 seasons and it's a successful show. So she released a statement. She said, there's been a lot of conversation on speculation the last few days regarding my Blackish salary. I was in renegotiation like many actors find themselves during the 4th season of a successful show. I wanted to be compensated in a way that matches my contributions to the show that I love for many reasons, including the opportunity it allows me to reshape what is to be fully realized black woman on TV. She said the words and thoughts that were in the original article that started this public conversation were not mine. There were never any threats. I wish I would have been called by the reporter to confirm that. Having had my renegotiation become a public conversation was awkward, but I'm grateful for the outpour of support. I'm truly thankful that important conversations are taking place about fighting for women's worth and equality and tightening the pay gap in every industry. Tracee Ellis Ross. Now that was a classy way of addressing a situation.
That's someone who knows the game. She knows how to play the game. Yeah. And she's in renegotiation, and she also knows that any loose lips can also tank that renegotiation.
Exactly.
I put up a post unrelated today about contracts and morality clauses and securing the bags, as Ms. Parker said, before, you make any false steps. These contracts are serious, and people need to pay attention to them. One false move after you sign your name on the dotted line can get you jobless.
That's true. Very true. Well, tweet us at home. Let us know. Should people know what their colleagues are making? Stephen Knight, SA Show. All right, so over the weekend, the women's marches commenced to protest both, injustices in society, as well as, a lot of things that we're seeing in the news about women being sexually assaulted, as well as immigration reform, healthcare reform, and racial equality. And a number of women all over, celebrities, took to the streets and helped. Not only celebrities, but celebrities made their appearance as well. Took to the streets. Viola Davis, Lupita. I always say her name wrong. What is it, Chike? Lupita.
Which? Longo?
Longo, yeah. Lupita Longo, Audrey Day. They were in L.A. Whoopi Goldberg, Rosie Perez, Michael Moore were among the people in New York. Viola Davis gave a rousing speech in L.A. And, of course, there were a lot of people that came out, actually. Allison Janney, Olivia Wade, I believe, Olivia Munn, Marissa Tomei, Felicity Huffman. There are a lot of people that came out. Maxwell was out there. Of course, your homie went to Twitter, and he tweeted, "Beautiful weather all over our great country, a perfect day for all women to march. Get out there to celebrate the historic milestones of unprecedented economic success and wealth creation that has taken place over the last 12 months. Lowest female unemployment in 18 years. The only problem is that's not true. Unemployment is at a low rate, but women is actually higher than it's been." What are your thoughts on women? Mind you, this is 12 months after he's been in office. That's why the march, it was kind of like, the 12-month anniversary. What are your thoughts on all this?
The women did a women's march last year after he won, shortly after he won. Obviously, I think it's a great thing. I'm glad that, because I think women are going to be the reason this country changes for the better. I think men have screwed it up enough in government for the longest of time, so I think it's time that women stand up and try to come together and make the changes that are going to affect us all. With that being said, better not have had no Trump supporters out there. Something like 70% of non-ethnic women, so let me be politically correct, non-ethnic women, meaning white women, voted for him. Mm-hmm. So you can't be for women's rights and be for Trump at the same time. You got to choose.
Right.
So
right.
They better not have been out there with no signs talking about they want equality, because you voted for the person who is the definition of injustice and inequality.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, my thing with that is, I agree, but remember when you and I were in, I believe it was New Jersey, Ms. Parker, and we met that lady who had voted for him, and she said that she regrets it. Now, I wouldn't have a problem if you voted for him, but you regret it. Now, if you're still supporting him, then that's where I have the problem, if you came out there to protest.
Well, my thing is, if you voted for him and you out there, you regret it, you out there protesting, that's not going to do nothing. Well, I need you to get your mind right for next time. Figure out who you need to vote. Figure out who you need to vote for to make the changes in your local government. Figure out why I'm doing that, because if you voted for him the first time, you dazed, okay?
No, I agree. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Matt Lauer, he's been disgraced from Today's Show. He was let go after sexual assault. According to Page 6, his wife wants him out of their bedroom. Now, they've been married 20 years. They have 3 children together. Apparently, she filed for divorce in 2006, citing mental abuse, extreme mental and emotional distress, humiliation, torment, and anxiety. But after just found weeks later, he offered her a post-prenuptial agreement, and millions more dollars were added as well. Now, I'm sorry about that. So they're still living in a $36 million compound. They're saying that in Connecticut. They're saying that he lives in one side of the house and she lives in the other side of the house. There have been no words on a divorce or legal separation, but sources say that it's just a matter of time. What are your thoughts? Are you surprised, first of all?
Not at all. Cheaper to keep her. It reminds me of kind of sort of the movie War of the Roses. I don't know if you remember that movie, but Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner are married, and they are breaking up, but they have this huge, wonderful house, and they both decide to live in the house, but on separate ends of the house. It's all fun and games until someone wants to start, carrying on with the rest of their life, i.e. date or, possibly fall in love with someone else. Then it turns into a different situation. I think it's a financial situation where right now it's cheaper to keep her, but she's going to soon realize that she'll get more money if she jumps the coop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from what I've read, one of the reasons she stayed the first time was because she didn't want to interrupt, her kids' lives and go through a whole custody battle. But the kids are like in their teens now, so she's supposed to be sticking around because of them. She's going to leave. There's no way she's going to stay, because she's already. When I read that first report about why she filed for divorce, mental abuse and cruelty. Who cites cruelty as a reason for divorce? Mm-hmm. That means you have had to have been so mentally abusive to her that she found that it was cruel for him to be in her life. Like, I believe it. He seems like that type of person from what he did to end how he treated people around him from the reports of, people that work with him. It's just, I think she was going to finally realize that maybe the kids are better off in a happier home than to be in a two-parent home where she's not happy and obviously he's not happy. He needs help, though.
Yeah. Well, Anna Curry, she's back because she has a new show coming on PBS, and she said she was on the CBS this morning, and she said that she was not surprised at the accusations and that there was an overtone of things that were said around the set, and that she's curious to see who still works there, and kind of, she didn't really bash him, but she said that she was not surprised by anything that's going on with them.
Well, from what the rumor is, the reason he wanted to get rid of her so badly was she knew his dirt, and she called him out on some of it.
Oh.
She was one of those people who was around who weren't okay with him sleeping with the interns, who would complain about how he was, being a womanizer and not being professional with the interns, because a lot of the women he slept with were interns. Every summer they'll get a group of women, young women coming from college, and he was sleeping with them. And so she knew too much, and she said things about it. So he just wasn't comfortable around her, and obviously you're going to get rid of the person who you feel is going to, if you have that much clout, they may be a threat, not only a threat to you in your career, because Ann was very popular on that show and she was there longer than he was, but also know too much about your business and is not afraid of saying, that's not acceptable.
Right, yeah. Well, payback's a boo. I'm glad Ann got a new show.
I'm happy for Ann.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and we're right back after this with more Hot Topics.
T.A. Corleone, Street Cartel, bada bing, bada boom. Drippin', sauce, I'm a boss, 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 drippin', sauce. T.A. Corleone is a boss, dripping in too much sauce. 24-inch Cuban lean, quarter cut designer me. Presidential Rolex on my arm, BBS is all over my charm. Shoe red bottom Louis Vuitton, carrying a concealed weapon. Drink catch your body 'cause I got the juice. And my vest is bulletproof. Got a mouth full of gold tooth, and my Rari ain't got no roof. I used to be on Section 8, now I got a crib on a lake. Multi-million-dollar estate, with my last name spelled in the gates. Drippin', sauce, I'm a boss, 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 drippin', sauce. First cut flight, stretch limousine. Been featured in Source magazines. I turned my dream to reality. Then put my team on a salary. 500K is my budget. Still independent and love it. CEO of Street Cartel. Ball harder than Art Shell. Featured artists in double XL. In my bin is a V12. T.A. Corleone is the truth. One of the best in the booth. I'm the new king of the South. Don't mention my name in your mouth. I'll send them go to your house to kidnap and rape your spouse. Drippin', sauce, I'm a boss, 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 drippin', sauce. Don't need a ghostwriter or feature. feature. Cause I got more verses than preachers. Haters say I got a real big ego. Cause I get them bags of peso. In a plug that's an amigo. We keep them bricks in the bando. Shooter posted up with the Draco. Get it out the mud, show nub. Try harder than snow on the blood. Bad boy, but ain't signed a pub. Bros always trying to mingle. Even though they know I ain't single. Cause they like I spit that lingo. And I'm packing like Mandingo. Beat it up cause I like it rough. Hoes wanna put me in handcuffs. Drippin', 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 sauce, sauce. I'm a boss, boss. 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 Drippin', drippin', sauce, sauce. Bobby the Hitman, Tye Corleone, 2018. Capiche.
All night long, she 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 follow me. Tell her come get this, she follow me. Tell me what you came for. Did you come to play with? Did you come to be my bad girl? Hey, damn it, be ashamed, gripping on your way. Go on ahead now. We grindin', we wildin', cause we don't care. We wildin', we rubbin' like no one's here. If I push up on it, will you go there? Trust me, you'll go there. All night long, she follow me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. All night long, she follow me. When she want that, she callin' me. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. 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 Back up one time, cock it back on it. Back up one time, cock it back on it. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that. Tell me, can you handle it? Tell me right now, before we walk out this club, girl. Hey, baby, where your hands? Thought you had a man, no damn, baby. We grindin', we wildin', cause we don't care. Hey. We wildin', we rubbin' like no one's here. Wait, if I push up on it, will you go there? Hey, baby, trust me, you'll go there. All night long, she follow me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. All night long, she follow me. When she want that, she callin' me. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that. Back up one time, cock it back on it. Back up one time, cock it back on it. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. All night long, she follow me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. All night long, she follow me. When she want that, she callin' me. All night long, she 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 all night long. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that. Back up one time, cock it back on it. Back up one time, cock it back on it. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl.
This is Savage.
And this is Tye.
And we are from the Articulate Podcast, and you are listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to The Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and, of course, our official website, thestephennightshow.com. All right, so if you watched Housewives of Atlanta last night, you saw two interesting things that came up. People were very thrown off by how rude Kenya Moore treated Shamia Morton when they were there to volunteer. They were volunteer for the devastation in Houston. Cynthia was there, Portia was there, and Shamia came to support Portia, who they kind of had a falling out. And then, Cynthia had her own thing going on, and then Kenya surprised all of them and came in and did her own kind of thing. But they all kind of helped out each other. Well, the last scene, I believe it was the last scene, they were all at dinner after a day of hard work, rebuilding, knocking down walls, whatever. And people were very shocked at how nasty Kenya was to Shamia, who Shamia was just there to help, because she was rude to her on set. when they were fixing everything, but then also rude at dinner. And Shamea was kind of like, she didn't understand where that was coming from. Well, Kenya took to Instagram last night and said the reason why she was so rude, she said she did go back and have a conversation with Shamea later on when it was more appropriate. But she said that that there were a lot of things that the cameras did not show that happened at the dinner, and she was responding to that. And she said that's why there's a scene where Cynthia says Kenya wasn't rude or something where Cynthia kind of takes up for Kenya. And she said because there were things that we didn't see because of the editing. So that was one thing. And then another surprising conversation Sheree was having with her incarcerated boyfriend, Tyrone Gillums, and Sheree was telling him that Nene keeps going around saying that he was a con artist. Well, Tyrone said that he's shocked that Nene would even bring him up because apparently years ago when she was still married to Greg, she was trying to holler at him. Of course, Nene said that wasn't true. She made jokes about it on Instagram today. What are your thoughts on all this?
A hot mess that makes my head hurt.
Honestly, I stopped watching that show a long time ago for reasons like this. It's just too much. It's just for all these people to be as blessed as they are, to have such fortune and opportunity to be a platform to help others. It's just too much negativity and too much backbiting. It's just too much. I can't get involved. I can't.
But I guess what it is that's how they keep their money. So they've gotten used to that check coming in, and they know that from past cast members, if you're not being messy, that check will stop coming.
Put out.
But I think there's a way that you can transfer that notoriety that you receive in that audience that you have and transfer that into something more positive and move on into something more positive. Honestly, I'm hoping Candy would do that because she has a large platform. She's very talented and she knows how to get money. So yeah. I'm hoping that pretty soon she leaves the show and transfer that energy because I honestly think she's becoming more and more of who is on TV than she's realizing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, I will say that I wasn't a fan of Portia. I have never been a fan. I think she's gorgeous, but there's just something. People that to me come off not that smart but think they're smart, they annoy me. But I will say this season I have really liked her, and even with this whole thing, she spearheaded the whole thing for Houston. She tried to get everyone to come. No one wanted to come with her because they said that she's not that likable. But Ricky Smile, he was actually on Wendy Williams, and he said, they work on Dish Nation together. He said that the person that you see on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Portia, is not who she really is. He said she's very sweet. He said that she would be a great wife. He thinks she's gorgeous, of course. He called her thick, but he said that she's actually a really sweet person, and if you really knew her, you wouldn't buy into who's portrayed on TV. But anyway, I did like her yesterday, even though she still has kind of airhead ways, in my opinion. Well, switching subjects. So Sterling K. Brown made history yet again at the SAG Awards for outstanding performance by a male actor in the drama for his role in NBC's This Is Us. His speech, they said, would had everyone crying. He said, "What a blessing it is to do what you love to do for a living. What an honor to be recognized by your peers for a job well done. This room is a source of endless inspiration for me. I love you all. People call us weird and strange. The truth of the matter is everybody's weird and strange. We just embrace ourselves for who we are. I love actors so much. I decided to marry one. Ryan Michelle Bath, you are the best scene partner a brother has ever had. To my glorious cast of This Is Us, you feed me day in and day out. You raise the bar. To my white family, which thankfully is nothing like the family in Get Out, I love you. To my TV wife, Susan Kelchi Watson, let's keep on repping for the people." Now, Brown also made history for becoming the first black actor to take home a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a TV drama, and he previously won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. Now, Andre Braugher was the last black actor to win an Emmy in the category, and that happened in 1998. What are your thoughts of starting to see more African American and people of color recognized for their work? We're even starting to see them more on, on film and in television and on movies. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is something that's going to continue to happen? There'll be more diversity?
I would hope so. I'm glad to see it, but there is a small part of me that believes that a part of this is from all the backlash from a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people to receive accolades just because you happen to be. I would want people to receive accolades because they did a great job, regardless of your color.
I agree.
Because to me, in all honesty, art has no color. Being an artist, it just has no color to me. If you deliver the goods, then you deliver the goods. I just think that people of color and of minority and of other sex, they just need a fair chance to be able to show what they can do. I think that was the biggest thing in the beginning. They weren't putting
the opportunities.
They weren't,
mm-hmm.
They weren't, playing our music on the radio. Just give an opportunity and let the art speak for itself.
Good point. All right, well, our last story, the United States government is no longer shut down. You know it's been on a 3-day government shutdown, but it's no longer shut down. The past weekend reported that Republicans and 45 potentially 850,000 federal employees' paychecks were hung in balance. But today CNN reported that folks can rest easy for exactly 3 weeks. Senator Chuck Schumer said word. He said, we will vote today to reopen the government, he said on the Senate floor, saying that he and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had reached an agreement. Although it's not reported what this agreement entails, it's a must be satisfied enough to get several Democratic senators to change their vote from no to yes. By no means does this mean that issues at hand have been hashed out. There is no agreement on the lives of the dreamers. And I don't know if you saw this, but I know, Ms. Parker, you saw it, that families, innocent families in terms of people who had no criminal record, because the whole thing 45 was saying is that he wanted to send back the criminals and people that were doing, that weren't working, weren't contributing, and they sent home this man who he had been here for 30 years. He had 3 young children, married, and they sent
10 years old. This is the only country he knows.
Yeah, and he was sent back to was it Mexico? I think it was Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. City,
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this is that the CHIP program for children's health care will be extended for another 6 years upon the signing of this new 3-week agreement. What are your thoughts on the government shutdown being over?
I mean, it shouldn't have went into place in the first place because the Republicans run all 3 branches of the government. So the fact that it went and shut down is ridiculous. And secondly, what is my feeling about the whole government right now? Just a hot mess. This whole dreamer thing shouldn't have even been on the table for discussion because it should have been implemented and stayed. They pretty much should have kept the policy that was already in place.
Yeah.
There's a way that you can edit or make changes to immigration laws without touching something that's beneficial to people who've been here since they were kids and brought here,
against their will.
Yeah. And not really against their will, but no choice. When you were a kid, you move where your parents moved.
Right.
And human beings are not illegal. That's one thing I want to make sure I put out there.
Exactly.
The whole conversation around human beings being illegal is ridiculous. No one is illegal in no land.
Right.
This land was stolen from the native people, so if we want to talk about it, we're all illegal. But human beings cannot be illegal. They may be here without the policies and laws and perimeters that we have put in place as human beings and as citizens of one country versus the others, but no human being is legal.
I agree.
That's the truth. If you really think about it, we're all victims of, at least if you're African American, you're a victim of human trafficking somewhere down in your lineage because they pulled you from another country. If you really want to get technical, let's get technical.
Right.
I agree. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for Hot Topics, Ms. Parker. Thank you so much. See you next week. Chike, I know you're sticking around for movie reviews. And listen, we'll be right back after this.
Show her how to move like it's your only option. show them how to go, girl, cause you do it flawless. She be like, he be like, my hitters be like, rep your town tonight. And we on, show them how it's done. When your back is in the corner, bet your Jane is number one. She be like, he be like, I be like, yeah, 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 yeah. Let me start this anthem all proper. From poverty, I still finish college. Do it all, keep my face stay shining, cause your boy right here is a soldier. Back to the music, telling you why I do it. For my brother, his daughter, my dreams stick to it. I lost a few on the way, miss them all the time, but I keep the memories alive on the music. Thought I wouldn't do it, thought I couldn't do it, thought I wouldn't do it, thought I couldn't do it, thought I wouldn't do it, and I couldn't do it. Watch me do it, do it, do it. Show 'em how to move like it's your only option. Show 'em how to go, girl, cause you do it flawless. She be like, he be like, my hitters be like, rep your town tonight. And we on, show 'em how it's done. When your back is in the corner, bet your Jane is number one. She be like, he be like, I be like, yeah, 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 yeah. People telling me you only get better, so don't stop, bruh. You deserve to win for sure. Got $1 and a dream, and no 100 guarantees I'm gonna make it out this life. That's cool with me. Trust in my faith and my beliefs. Music therapy. So, I just wanna be the man I am. Yeah, yeah, they thought I wouldn't do it, thought I couldn't do it, thought I wouldn't do it, thought I couldn't do it, thought I wouldn't do it, and I couldn't do it. Watch me do it, do it, do it. Show 'em how to move like it's your only option. Show 'em how to go, girl, cause you do it flawless. She be like, he be like, my hitters be like, rep your town tonight. And we on, show 'em how it's done. When your back is in the corner, bet your dream is number one. She be like, he be like, I be like, yeah, 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 yeah.
I came from nothing, came from shit. Had a goal to set, I had a name to get. I turned pain to strength, I gave fame a grip. I changed lanes to gain, and my aims to live. Had to show them how, call this tutorial. Made history, this historical. Niggas hating, that's just adorable. Went from poor and that shit's affordable. All I need is my team now. More trees, more lean now. I'm heating up, I got steam now. This real shit, it ain't a dream now. I moved up and got paid quick. YH who I stayed with. And this here look beautiful, like the baddest bitches I laid with. They thought I wouldn't do it. They thought that I would quit. Can't take no losses, I'm a boss. Tell all y'all bosses I'm the shit. Y'all boys so off, but I'm a hit. Got no time to talk, I'm getting rich. Can't hear yo talking like I'm deaf, and I kill no coffin with the shit.
Show 'em how to move like it's your only option. Show 'em how to go, girl, cause you do it flawless. She be like, he be like, my hitters be like, rep your town tonight. And we on, show 'em how it's done. When your back is in the corner, bet your Jane is number one. She be like, he be like, I be like, yeah, 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 yeah.
On these hitters, cause they were sleeping. Clap on these hitters, cause they was tweaking. Do not interrupt a hitter when she is speaking. Please keep an eye on your hitter, I got him kicking. From way back when I've been a problem, you don't pick one when you got options. They talking cause I'm never round up. Man, what you say, I beg your pardon. Why you coming at your face? Man, you need to know your place. to blow it. Man, I'm too nice to these hitters. That's over, yeah, finito. I suggest you reconsider. Man, what's wrong with these people? Don't make me reach for the trigger. Be careful, cause it's lethal. We the same matter, you figure. Oh, nah, we not equal. From way back when I've been a problem. You don't pick one when you got options. They talking cause I'm never round up. Man, what you say, I beg your pardon. Why you coming at your face? Man, you need to know the place. Oh, you made a big mistake. It's got to be bombs away. Bombs away. You about to blow it? 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 You about to blow it?
Hey, everybody, this is Jose Tony Garcia, and you are listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I'm very excited about our next two guests. They're great friends of mine, Tye and Savage. They have a new podcast called The Articulate Podcast that will make you, laugh like you never laughed before and educate you at the same time. Please help me welcome my homies, Tye and Savage. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. What's up?
Thank you.
What's going on?
Not too much, just making it.
Right, trying to live my best life.
So listen, knowing you all both, when Tye told me that you were doing a podcast, I'm thinking, what? So what is, y'all have been friends for years. Y'all went to undergrad together. Tell me how this, all came together.
Well, like you said, we've known each other since, Savage, 2003?
Yeah.
So it's been like 15 years, but I think the last probably like a year it kind of came up because we talk so much and so often about everything that's going on in the world anyway, and we are both avid podcast listeners already. So it's kind of like what it came down to, we felt like there was a little bit of a void in the market where you have educational podcasts on one hand, but then you have like the comedy entertainment on the other side. And we were like, well, what if we combine them? You know what I mean? And that's how the idea started.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back when we were in architecture school, we just used to make each other laugh and other people laugh all the time. We gave everybody nicknames.
Yep.
We talked to each other, but it was just, we always had a good time. So we really, if you want to be honest, just trying to let y'all in on the party. So
give us an inside scoop.
We just want to let you in. And then I know whenever I'm out or whenever Tye is out, people constantly tell us how entertaining we are. So I'm not going to toot my own horn at all. I honestly think I'm pretty boring, but other people seem to think that we're witty and funny. So we just thought, it would be a gift to the rest of the world if we started this podcast.
Well, it's funny to me because everyone says about me and Miss Parker that I'm the male version of her and she's a female version of me. I think the same for you two because both of y'all are very witty, but you wouldn't think y'all like as funny as you are, and y'all are hilarious. And I don't think you even try. I think it's just you all saying what's on your mind. You know what I mean? So I know that so far you have two episodes that are out that people can go out there and listen to. What has been for you all to record them and to put them out there? What is the feeling that you all have about it? How do you feel about everything going on?
Well, I can say that in my segment, which I should have let Tye go first, but I'm already talking. The second segment of the show is Articulated, and I go in depth about a particular subject that's really hot right now. For example, on the last episode, I talked about Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So in preparing for the episode, I do a ton of research, whether it's written media or listening to videos or even going on social media to see what people are saying about it. I learn a lot, and I also learn how to put it into a format that people will digest pretty well. So it's a learning process for me, and I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed recording with Tye, and I've enjoyed putting this material together for you guys.
Yeah. And so pretty much what you do is you take the hot button topic, and you do your research and you put it out there so we understand what the heck everyone's talking about. In a nutshell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
you do
you
do a great job of doing that, because I know the first one you talked about, what was it? About the internet, the
net neutrality.
Net neutrality, yeah. And I had heard of it, but I didn't know exactly what it was until I listened to the Articulate podcast. And so, Tye, tell us about your segment, the first segment.
So, opening segment is we like to call it Articulate. So it's a little more ignorant, but we like to talk about what's going on in the current events. So it may be politics, or it could just be, Wendy Williams or whoever has something going on that's big in the news and on social media. But the one thing I like to do differently is take it from the perspective of the listeners. So I'm definitely always on social media looking in the comments, because a lot of times I find the comments are funnier than the actual post. So I find myself
they go in on the comments. They go in on the comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. And then we have another segment where I like to close out the show with words of the week. We're just trying to make sure, even though we want y'all to laugh and be entertained, we trying to give y'all some educational portion of the show, so that you'll take something away from it other than laughing.
Right. And this is the weekly podcast you release weekly. Is that correct?
Correct. So it's available every Thursday on, you can find the links to where to listen on our website, thearticulatepodcast.com. But it's available on our SoundCloud and our YouTube pages currently, but we are working on getting it up everywhere else people listen to podcasts like Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and other places. So you can keep checking back with our website to see when that happens.
Yeah. Again, it's called the Articulate Podcast. Tell everyone why, just before we go, why everyone has to and needs to listen to this. I'll let both of you all give your perspective.
I mean, you need us. No, seriously, I think Tye said it best, or maybe you did, Steven, I'm sorry, but it's a place where you can go to laugh, where you can hear about the latest hot topics, whether it's from a wide array of topics. So, politics, you can hear about what's going on in hip-hop, etc. But you can also learn something and take that away. And if you need to read somebody at work about a subject, or you need to let them know, I know exactly what's going on with net neutrality, or I know exactly what's going on with DACA. That's next week's topic. Then you can get that right there at our show. So check us out.
All right. And Tye?
I completely agree with everything you said. I mean, you can never have enough laughter, I feel like. And although there are, lots of podcasts out there, I feel like none of them have our perspective. Like we offer our own unique perspective and our own personality. So get you a good laugh and learn a thing or two. Get you a couple new words in your vocabulary every week. So
absolutely.
Definitely.
And tell everyone where they can listen to the podcast one more time.
So thearticulatepodcast.com is the website. You can find all the ways to listen on the website, but we are on SoundCloud and YouTube, and we're also on social media at The Articulate Podcast, and for Instagram and Facebook, and it's The Articulate PC for Twitter.
All right. Tye and Savage, thank you so much. I wish you all nothing but continued success. I'm a fan already. I've subscribed everywhere I can find it, and I will be listening in. So thank you so much, and thank you for making us laugh. We live in such a crazy world right now, so we really appreciate it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Our thanks goes out to Tye and Savage. Again, the Articulate Podcast every Thursday, thearticulatepodcast.com. We'll be right back after this.
Damn, B, hold up. Hello? Yeah.
Product cooking in the bando. Product cooking in the bando. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. Product cooking in the bando. Product cooking in the bando. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old.
That product cooking in the bando. I keep a shooter, keep them hands low. Hop out that Ferrari like I'm Rambo. Say a prayer, your fam gon' have to light some candles. My hand on the work, I should have an office job. And I am the boss, so how you gon' cross the mob? Skeeter O'Neil, now that's what I call a lob. Covered with one of them, that's what I call a prob. I've been scooping in the Lambo. Pitching on my block while I'm the landlord. Pay your fee, that's what I stand for. I play the key, you take shots like the backboard. The day I punched in, I was born on the job. Now the inside guts look like corn on the cob. Food on the plate, guess you the dinner meal. Bowling like Centerfield. Please get this kid a meal.
Product cooking in the bando. Product cooking in the bando. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. Product cooking in the bando. Product cooking in the bando. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old.
I gave him more than they can ask for. Big stick, similar to Jim Duggan Axel. Big whips, call me SOR. Yeah, I'm that boy. SV, call him Escobar. With them tracks, boy. I can't say sorry, I make you fellows mad. And can't stop me, I'm like a yellow cab. And just for that, I might cop the yellow Jag. I never left, but it's like you could tell I'm back. Got about 220 on the dashboard. With a cup of Henny, that's the crash course. For the drop, I keep a mask for it. And the Glock, like I shot with the task force. I'm making my name, you should call me monumental. I studied the best, you can't even find a temple. Like I'm tapping them bags, every dime I mention. You can't even find a signal. You don't know the grind I mentioned.
Product cooking in the bando. Product cooking in the bando. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. Product cooking in the bando. Product cooking in the bando. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our guest tonight is an award-winning actor who can currently be seen in the new Showtime series, The Chi. Please help me welcome Jose Antonio Garcia. He prefers to go by Tony, but welcome to the show, Tony.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, and yourself. Now, I know you're a busy man, so thank you for taking time out of your schedule to do this interview.
Oh, no, absolutely. More than happy to.
So I know you're from Connecticut, but then you relocated to Chicago after finishing school. Tell us a little bit about your background and kind of, what you did to get to where you are today.
Oh, boy. I'm originally from Connecticut, and I went to school at the University of Connecticut. And I literally was one of those guys who decided to take an acting class because I thought it'd be fun. Mm-hmm. I was always kind of messing around with, like, different art classes. Like, I used to draw. I was that kid who would get in trouble for drawing in class. So, my parents and teachers were like, well, let's stick them in art classes. So I did a lot of that, but it wasn't until I got to college that I decided to try out an acting class. And I kind of got hooked. I really liked it, and I, kept going. And after UConn, I decided to keep studying, keep learning, keep growing, and that's what led me out to Indiana. And then after Indiana, I came up to Chicago.
Chicago.
And, and been working here, busting my rear end for,
of course,
a long, long time, as you do. And, eventually finally made my way to a show like The Chi. And, yeah, so that's
wow.
That's the nutshell version.
In a nutshell. I'm sure there's a lot more to that, but in a nutshell. Now, I know you did a lot of work in theater, and then now you're really branching off into television and film. Tell us about some of your work you did in the theater.
What I studied in school was like theater, stage acting.
Okay.
I've gotten to work with some really great theaters here in Chicago: Goodman Theater, Steep, Factory, Stage Left. And you audition for all these different places. Some of them are non-union, some of them are union houses, some of them are small little storefronts, some of them are big, large houses where you're performing for like 300 people, or like the small storefront, you've got a house of 50 and they're like 3 feet away from you, kind of thing. So
wow.
in Chicago, there's like there's so many different venues that you can perform in. So it really kind of gives you a great foundation for all the different kinds of varieties of venues that you can find out there. And, and it just it forces you to change up your technique, to change up your style accordingly. You can't really perform the same way for, someone who's 3 feet away from you versus when you've got like, a house of like 300 people. It does change things up a little bit. So, getting to work in some of these different places afforded me the opportunity to sort of just fine-tune my work and my technique for, different circumstances, so to speak.
Right, yeah. So did you purposely move to Chicago? Did you know that was good for your career? Or, because I didn't even know Chicago had that, such a rich environment for that. Did you know that going there, or was it just how'd you end up in Chicago?
Well, I did a little bit. I had a teacher in Connecticut who always talked about Chicago. He kind of tried to push his students toward, if you really want to do theater, go to Chicago. The theater scene in Chicago is just immense, and there's just there's always something going on. So that kind of sparked my interest, but once I decided I was going to do grad school, it was like, well, it's all going to come down to where I end up going to grad school. Like if I ended up going to school somewhere on the East Coast, then I probably would have just stayed at the East Coast or West Coast or vice versa.
Okay.
So when I got into Indiana and I accepted Indiana, that I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am going to Chicago afterwards, because it makes no sense going to a school in the Midwest and then going to one of the coasts, which, I had a lot of friends who actually did that, but for me, it was like, nope, that means I'm going to Chicago.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense a lot. So I know I've interviewed a lot of actors and actresses over the years, and everyone has their own method of how they get into character. What is your process?
I mean, I don't know that I have like one single way that I approach things. I guess it really depends on the material that I have, the storyline, the character, what I have to work with, what I have to play.
Right.
So I mean, I guess to kind of use The Chi as an example, like I played a teacher, so all of my scenes were with the kids. Like I ended up, this isn't a spoiler, but I don't have any scenes with other teachers or anything like that. Not this time around. All my scenes were with the kids, so it was like, okay, I'm going to put all my focus on the kids. Like, I'm not going to necessarily worry about me or what I'm doing or like how I'm behaving or how I'm acting. I'm just going to put all my focus on the kids and what the kids need and sort of what I need to give them to, get from them whatever the director wants or what it is that the scene wants,
right?
Kind of thing. So I mean, I guess I just put a lot of focus on the script and like the story that my particular scenes were telling. Whatever little steps forward our scenes were moving the story. Like I just kind of put all my focus on that, and I left myself alone. I didn't really worry about like how I was coming across. I just focused more on I'm here for the purposes of the story. I'm a tool for the story, kind of thing. So I put all my attention like 100% on the kids and the pages, so to speak.
Okay. Let's talk about Shy. So Shy is described as a timely coming-of-age drama series centered on a group of residents who become linked to coincidence but bonded by the end of a connection and redemption, for need for connection and redemption. So you play Mr. Gasca, is how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Mr. Gasca.
Gasca, okay. And so you living in Chicago, we hear so much, on the news and what we see in the media about Chicago, about the violence and the death tolls and murders. What is your experience living in Chicago, and how does it relate to this series?
I live way up on the northwest side right now. I live in a neighborhood called Albany Park.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much all the stuff that, if you're not from Chicago, all the stories that you hear on the news about Chicago, generally speaking, they all tend to happen on the south side or really far, southwest of the city kind of thing. So I'm fairly removed from all that. However, when that kind of stuff happens, it's kind of felt throughout the city, especially when you're in the acting community or you're just kind of in tune with the city as in general, as a whole. That stuff resonates. And, it's kind of sad because, even my parents will sometimes, when I touch base with them, they'll be like, hey, are things okay out there? How are you doing? Kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm fine. We're fine. It's not the war zone that they try to, portray out in the news. Obviously there's some not great things happening here, but it's not this complete, desolate desert of violence that they try to portray. And, when all you get is the numbers and statistics and all that kind of stuff on the news, it creates a disconnect. From the reality of it. These unfortunate incidents that are occurring are happening to actual people. These people have lives, they have families, they have friends, they have loved ones, and they're reduced to numbers and percentages, statistics. And so, so a show like The Shy comes along and just kind of fills in that gap. It's definitely not trying to shy away from the reality of what's going on. It's not trying to paint oh no, everything's fine, we're great.
Right, yeah.
Or anything like that. It's not, it's not trying to hide that fact, but what it's doing is here's the other side of it. Here's the rest of the story that you're really not going to get anywhere else. Which is, the story of all these people and where they live, how they live, who they live with, who they interact with, and their stories.
Yeah.
So it's great to be a part of something like this, even in the minor way that I get to partake. I couldn't be prouder.
Most definitely. Hey, and we're starting to see a lot of movies and a lot of TV series that have a lot of minority, Black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, minority characters and main characters. How do you feel about that? I mean, just seeing so many. I was watching, I can't remember what show I was watching, but they were advertising that the new Black action figure, or hero is coming to Mike, and that's an all-Black cast. You know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts on seeing minorities? These shows come out that are minority casted.
I mean, it's nothing but fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember when I first really started getting into acting and studying and looking at the history and stuff. If you were to ask me back when I was in school, who are your favorite actors? My list consisted of Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Dustin Hoffman, Derek Jacobi, Laurence Olivier, all of these white men.
Right.
And at the time it was I had no problem with it. It was
normal
wrong with it because that's what it was. Those are the only examples that I really had. And then once I got a little bit deeper, it was okay, Raul Julia and a few others, but it was always just like a handful of other actors. But if I was talking about like my favorite actors, it was always white men. You know, and now that has shifted some. Like, you know, a young Latino or a young black kid who's just starting to like take acting classes and just get into the business or whatnot. You know, if you ask them the same question, you know, who are your favorite actors? They have a whole slew.
Exactly.
Of actors of color who they can reference to, and like not just actors of color, you know, that they're just like, well, I'm going to say actors of color so I can say actors of color. Like, there are like amazing, award-winning, like incredibly, ridiculously talented actors of color out there.
Exactly.
That now reference and point to and say, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that girl. I want, you know, and so, you know, that's nothing but amazing. How can that not be a good thing?
The diversity is so important, you know, for, you know, people to see people on film and on TV that look like them and they can relate to. I think that's so important.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really have that growing up, and it's not really something that I even acknowledged until I got much older, and I really stepped back and thought, and like, yeah, like all of my heroes were white guys. Like,
right. Exactly.
That's all there was.
That's what we saw. That's what we saw.
I was exposed to.
Exactly. So, you know, I know a lot of people have been talking about the whole Me Too movement. It's hit Hollywood. It's hit politics. It's hit almost any industry. You know, what are your thoughts on that and seeing these powerful men being taken down, and even some of these beloved actors that we, you know, you mentioned a few that, you know, we all looked up to and respected on film, and then kind of seeing a different side. What is your perspective on that?
I mean, it's a tough thing, you know. Like I'm realizing now that when I was listing off my list of like favorite actors, as it doesn't happen. As soon as I said his name, I'm like, oh, baby, his name. But you know, that's kind of the reality we're facing. And I mean, look, the sort of short and quote unquote like right thing for me to say is, you know, it's about time. Good.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And I do feel that way. You know, like it is about damn time that these types of issues get the recognition that they get. But you know, it's a tough thing. And what I mean by it's a tough thing is because it's not just something that's happening at that level, and we can like just kind of sit back with our popcorn and soda, like, you know, watching fire. Like, it's something that we all kind of on all levels need to participate in if this is actually gonna take, you know, have an effect that's lasting.
Long lasting, yeah.
You know, it's not just gonna be the flavor of the year kind of thing. Like, you know, by this time next year we've forgotten all about it and we're on to whatever the next crisis is.
Exactly.
You know, this is something that needs to be sort of ongoing, an ongoing conversation, and on all levels. Like, it can't just be about the super high powered, you know, studio.
Yeah.
It also has to trickle on down to, you know, actors who participate in a little storefront theater who are, you know, getting paid in bagels. Like,
exactly.
Just because there's that separation, that doesn't mean that it's suddenly allowed in one place over another.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It makes a lot of sense.
It's something that needs to be a part of everything across the board, and I include myself in that. Believe me, I've been doing a lot of soul searching these last you know, few months. You know, my wife, God bless her, she's been a rock by my side, because, you know, I'm lucky. I have the ability to turn to her and have these conversations.
Exactly.
And, you know, she kind of sets me straight. And, you know, sometimes people don't have that. So like who do I turn to have these really embarrassing, you know, conversations about stuff I may or may not have done or part of, you know, things you feel guilty of from your past, kind of thing. So, you know, it's something that we all sort of need to check ourselves on and do some serious soul searching.
I agree. And I think because you hear some of the stories, and it's, you know, some people are like, well, I didn't really know I was that bad or I was doing that kind of thing. But I think now that we hear different examples of what these women or even men have experienced, it allows us to look at ourselves and say, okay, we could be more, cognitive of it moving forward, and how we behave. It's kind of what you're saying. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think the latest example, the most recent thing is Ethan Zari, that whole thing. Mm-hmm. That kind of opened up like a whole new door of, this conversation isn't just about the difference between like assault and non-assault, or like violence and non-violent. Like there's subtler issues that exist within that, aren't as black and white, aren't as right.
Exactly.
As clear to look at and go, oh, that's bad, and that's
right. Yeah.
There's a lot in the gray area that can very easily be overlooked, and if it gets overlooked long enough, eventually that kind of stuff is going to fester, and that's going to evolve into, the right or wrong, black and white, criminal, non-criminal, and it's just going to keep happening until we really start focusing on those gray areas, those subtler things that it was like, oh, well, that's, that wasn't horrible, that's not violent, that's not illegal. It's like, yeah, but it's still not cool.
Exactly.
Those are the uncomfortable conversations that need to be had. And
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Well, 2018's here. You're in The Chi. What else are you working on?
Let's see. I've got an episode of Chicago Med coming up. I do not know the date. I just know it's episode 13, but with the Olympics coming up, I don't know if that's going to interfere with their TV schedule or whatnot, so I have no idea when it's going to air.
Okay.
But I'm excited about that one. And then I've got a couple of small movie bits coming out. I know one movie I think it's supposed to come out in September or October of this year.
Yeah.
Captive State. That was one that was shot here. And then there's another movie that I believe is in post-production right now called The Pages, and I don't know exactly when that's supposed to come out, but that one's starring Tika Sumpter. She is a lovely person.
Yeah,
Tika Sumpter, I got to do a nice little quick scene with her, so that was
that's dope. Yeah.
So hope those things will be coming out. I think Pages is supposed to come out this year, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But and then just everything else that
you're working
along the way, and whatnot.
Yeah, you're working. Where can people keep up with you on? Are you on social media? I know you have your website. Where can people keep up with you?
I am. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Generally speaking, if you look up Jose Tony Garcia, you'll find me. That's definitely Jose Tony Garcia, definitely on Instagram and on Twitter. On Facebook, I have my private profile, and then I have my actor page, which and please forgive me for this address, but it's facebook.com/Jose.a.Garcia.actor. I'm sorry, that's the worst address ever, but that's what I came up with.
That's what it is. Well, listen, Tony, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. And Chi can be seen each Sunday night on Showtime at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tony, it's been great. I wish you continued success, and look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. It was my absolute pleasure. And I'll chat with you guys anytime.
All right. Well, listen, we'll be right back after this.
See y'all like that every day, yo. Hey, I'll holler at y'all, bruh. Hey, I see y'all at the show tonight, alright? That breeze too fly to let go. If I come right back, though, I'm joking, though. See, I like the way you're rolling style. You don't follow trends, set your tone, know your sound, rockin' headphones. I ain't trying to interrupt. Crack a smile and she stop, follow through like what's up. Thoughts on my brain, you ain't gotta spit game. Probably hear it all the time about a frame, switching lanes. So I asked her, what you listening to? Most Def, Black Thought? Word, I fuck with them too. She asked me who the best rapper was. Should I crack a lie, tell her who I was? I'ma play it chill though. Don't wanna see you walk away, booty too fat. like, baby. So I took a step and told her probably old school method, man. Cause Nas and Jake is way too expected, man. She told me Rakim and Slick Rick was tied for number one. I'm feeling like she one up me, son. We talking hell. Man, she ain't like the mother, something special in size. We talking hell. She can read my mind, know that shit's hot. Now we talking hell. Yeah, she know what stuff, I kid you not. We talking that hell. Hold up. Booty got me like, baby. Like, so we talking back in time. Picking my brain lyrics to Aquemini, like Return of the Gangster, Thankster. According to plan, we gon' fall together like God placed us. I'm on. It's obvious she don't fuck with trap. And even that Black Eyed Peas happy rap, she don't fuck with that. Something special, totally left field. Found myself overwhelmed with the knowledge of hip hop. She too real. Head over heels, but see I play it cool. Talking about what's better, old school or new school. Told me what I'm acting for. She don't fuck with Macklemore, knowing what I'm after for. Call me on my shit, I'm like LMFAO. Wanna tell about my roots like I'm the C 2.0, but don't wanna think I'm just another trying to blow. She interrupted and dropped the unknown names. And she about to see a show by this crew named it lit around the way. I'm like, word. Wish I could make it, heard they dope. Clark Kent up in that bitch, enjoy the show. We talking that hill. Yo, so I skated off, I ain't even take a number or nothing. The funny shit later, we at the show, got the crowd chanting. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at her while the crowd rocking that shit. She looking back like, son of a bitch. Hey, you already know.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going? Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys. It's going well. How about you?
Going well. I know you took a trip over the holidays. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. So I went, me and the missus went down to Vietnam for about 10 days. And we just kind of did a whirlwind tour. We started in the north and worked our way south, ending in Ho Chi Minh City. And it was great. You know, the people were nice. The food was delicious. The sights were great. You know, if you saw them on my Instagram, you saw that we went all kinds of places. But yeah, it was an amazing trip. The only side is the travel that takes a long time. You know, we were on a 15-hour flight just to get to Korea, and then another 4 to 6 hour flight to get to Vietnam. So, and then on the way back, it was even worse. But yeah, we loved it. Definitely want to go back.
That's awesome.
The photos are amazing.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Well, we haven't had any movie reviews in a while because hence our break. Y'all want to go ahead and take it away?
Sure thing. Yeah, I'll give us a quick rundown. I tried to see as many as I can, but of course I was out of the country for a little while. But I'll start with, of course, the one that came out right after we went on break, The Last Jedi. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, which I'm sure is very little, this is the next Star Wars film after The Force Awakens. It follows the story of Rey trying to work with Luke to get him to come and help the rebellion. And it was, I liked it. It was fine. It's a middle movie, and it's got a lot of comedic elements, much kind of Guardians of the Galaxy. I felt like it had that feeling to it. But they did a lot of cool things that you didn't expect. And again, to me, Star Wars movies aren't great movies per se, but I love them. And The Last Jedi, I kind of fell in line with that, kind of breaking a few expectations. The only downside, or the main downside, I will say, is it's 2.5 hours, at least 2.5 hours. So, you know, my feeling on long movies, there's no reason for it to be this long. There's definitely a little bit of lagging in some parts, but it was great. And then hopping right into that, since we're being a little quick, I did see that Netflix movie, Bright, and for anyone unfamiliar, it's a Netflix release from a few weeks ago, and it stars Will Smith and another guy, and it's a fantasy cop buddy movie set in L.A. So crime movie, there's a lot of social commentary in it about the orcs that is Will Smith's partner. It is the same guy, David Ayer, who did Suicide Squad, so I'm surprised they brought him back for another movie, especially Will Smith working with him, because I thought it was pretty bad. I wouldn't say an awful movie, but it's definitely like a Netflix late-at-night film. Just the writing was a little poor, the whole structure was poor. It had potential. There were things you could expect that it could be a great movie, but in the end, I think it kind of fell apart.
People were asking me, Adam, about that movie. They were asking me, and they say, well, what did you think about that movie? And my response was, it's something to watch.
Yeah. And Will Smith definitely phoned it in. He did a kind of the role he does in a lot of movies. It was like a paycheck movie, I felt like, for him. And again, the idea was cool, or the concept was interesting. There's orcs and elves and other beings, but it just kind of fell apart. So again, late night watching if you need something to see. Next, I went in to see All the Money in the World, and this is the movie that follows the story of the kidnapping of J. Paul Getty, who was once the richest man in the world, his grandson, out in the 70s. And this film follows kind of the real-life story of his daughter-in-law, who is the grandson's mother, played by Michelle Williams, trying to get him back and trying to set up this kind of ransom who he's refusing to pay to these Italian people who've stolen him. This movie is mainly famous because Kevin Spacey was originally the actor that was going to play J. Paul Getty, and then at the last minute they chose Christopher Plummer, and he did a great job. So another good one. This is a long drama, but everyone did a good job. Michelle Williams did a great job. Christopher Plummer. Mark Wahlberg's in it. He's kind of the same Mark Wahlberg character. He always is, nothing out of the ordinary. But it's a good story about a man who, I didn't know much about, who was super cheap. You always hear about some millionaires, billionaires being really cheap, but he definitely had those elements after building his fortune. And then finally, I'll end with The Post, which I just saw recently. And this is the movie following the Washington Post story and how they assisted in breaking of the Pentagon Papers. And the Pentagon Papers they were a big report that kind of knew that we were losing the war in Vietnam. It's about 30 years of research that shows that since the 60s, the government knew that it was a lost cause, but they didn't want to pull out. So it became a big deal when the New York Times initially broke this story, and then the Washington Post had to decide, when they had a new owner, played by Meryl Streep, to post these papers and face kind of the legal repercussions during the Nixon administration. So it's a good one too. A lot of good acting, a lot of good characters. This is Steven Spielberg, so another one of his projects, and a lot of good parallels of then and now of the government, especially the White House, trying to suppress news and damaging evidence, kind of similar to maybe like the Steele dossier of these times. But another good one to get out with. So I hope that was quick enough. That was my 4-movie review over the holidays.
Okay. I'm going to make mine quicker. I'm just going to run down a list of movies that you should see.
Okay.
Ghost is definitely one. Insidious is the 3rd installment. It's called The Last Key. Very, very good. I think it's probably the best one thus far. The Shape of Water. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which is a dark comedy, which is excellent. Excellent, excellent. Check that out. I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie as Tonya Harding. It's the Tonya Harding story as it relates to her life in skating leading up to what happened to, what's the girl's name? I can't remember her name. Who she bashed? Nancy Kerrigan, yes, who got bashed in the knee during the Olympics. Call Me By Your Name, The Disaster Artist, which is probably going to make it to the Oscars, I believe. Check out for that one. The Commuter, starring Liam Neeson, And lastly, All the Money in the World, which you just reviewed. I saved All the Money in the World for the last movie because that movie was actually in the press regarding Mark Wahlberg. And I wanted to talk about this because in Hot Topics we talked about equal pay. And there was some press regarding Mark Wahlberg receiving $1 million plus salary for filming this movie, and Michelle Williams basically was paid scale. And they compared it, with her being female and him being male, and the wages in Hollywood not being fair. And your average person doesn't really understand pay scales of artists in motion pictures. And I just want to say this on Mark Wahlberg's defense and what people do not know about movie making. Okay, so All the Money in the World was filmed. The original actor that had Christopher Plummer's role was Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey had turmoil happen with him with all the allegations, so he's basically been dropped. So they have to do refilming with Christopher Plummer. All of Christopher Plummer's scenes would have to be with Mark Wahlberg. This is after the movie entirely has already been filmed. So now they have to go back to Mark Wahlberg and ask him if he would come in and reshoot all the scenes that he already shot for the movie with now Christopher Plummer. So now Mark Wahlberg is in a position to ask them, well, how much money are you going to pay me to come back in and to shoot? It's that. Also, I'm sure Mark Wahlberg was on to another project, which will conflict with his schedule to have to come back in to reshoot scenes that he already shot for a movie that he was already paid for. So his pay to be in the millions was a renegotiation for those reshoot scenes for Christopher Plummer. And it got out that it now went up into the millions, and they put into the press that he's now making into the millions over Michelle Williams, who happens to be female. It's not always that black and white. And I always tell people, you never know what someone is negotiating in the room for their own salary. You negotiate your own deal in your own situation, but you can't balance your negotiation against someone else just purely because of your sex. Yes, I do believe in equal pay, but I also believe in fair negotiation when you're in that room at the table.
One day paying her like $1,000.
She got paid scale. Yeah, she got paid scale, but she also, because I do believe that she has a producer credit in this movie too. Sometimes when you negotiate for that, I don't want to say that it's a vanity credit, but sometimes it's a vanity credit. You opt out of your money because now you're a producer of this film. And depending on how you negotiate, you can also get money on the back end. So, like, for example, Tobey Maguire, when he went into the first Spider-Man, he kind of went in green. They paid him scale. They paid him what he would pay as an actor making this movie. He learned from the first time around. So the second time around, he also negotiated on the back end what he was going to get after the movie made money, plus also merchandising. So anything that had his face on it, anything that had a Spider-Man on it, because he was Spider-Man at that time, he got a percentage of. So it's all in what you do when you negotiate at the table what you're going to get, whether you be male or female. So that's why it's best for you to understand the knowledge of what it is that you're doing when you go in there to negotiate, because male or female, it's going to be about your business sense when you get in the room.
Very true. Very true.
What? Yeah, definitely. I was going to segue into The Shape of Water and the Three Billboards, just because both have recently won Best Picture films in different award ceremonies. Shape of Water for the Golden Globes, and the SAG Awards gave it to Three Billboards. What are your thoughts on those two? I know it's kind of early, and we're going to get Oscar nominations later this week, but what was your winner on those two?
I don't know. They were both dynamic stories. Like the Three Billboards is more of a dark comedy. I don't know. The Shape of Water was a beautiful love story, a strange but beautiful love story. And then there's special effects in that as well. I think they may win something. I don't say that they're not going to sweep across the board, but they may win something. Three of the boys may take home a couple Oscars.
Okay, yeah, because I haven't seen either of them, and if they both get nominations, I'm going to go through the rigors of watching them, so I wanted to kind of gauge that.
What else is coming out?
Those two,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those two will probably be the biggest winners. And you can't sneeze on I, Tonya. Margot Robbie did an excellent job as Tonya Harding. And whether you know or don't know anything about Tonya Harding, the movie is darn right entertaining, just simply because you just can't believe that someone actually had a life like this.
Yeah. They said their mother was a trip.
Yeah, she is. And Tonya Harding to this day does not speak to her mother.
Yeah, she doesn't speak to her. They said Allison Janney played the mother, and she said that she didn't get a chance to meet the mother because Tonya doesn't know where she lives.
Listen. From seeing the mother in interviews, and I'm sure that Miss Jenny probably got her information from seeing her interviews, she was dead on. On.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, what's coming down the pipeline?
So I do want to speak about one movie that's been in the pipeline for about 5 weeks in a row and been sitting at the number one spot, and I kind of looked it over, and I don't know, Chika, you might have seen it already, but this is Jumanji, and this movie is still number one. It's been number one longer than The Last Jedi, and it's been a big surprise hit. I kind of looked it over and thought it was just going to be a stupid comedy movie, but now that it's sitting there at over 750 million worldwide, I might check it out. And
well, please do because I won't.
Is it worth it? Sorry?
I want you to. Please do because I won't. And I'm going to be very honest, and no hate mail, no hate tweets, no hate Instagrams. I'm not really a Jumanji fan. Like, not even
well, I saw it and I just thought it was a stupid remake, but I mean, 5 weeks in a row, I gotta see what the buzz is about. So I'm gonna give that a shot. But on my immediate pipeline, besides the Oscar nominations, is the new Maze Runner movie, and I might be in a minority, and I didn't even know there was another movie coming out so soon. But I like the first two Maze Runner movies. They're fun.
I like the brand.
Holdovers from the whole Hunger Games kind of style genre, and this one, Divergent kind of failed, and they're not even making the last one. But Maze Runner's hold it on, and I thought it's a fun movie, full of action, full of little kind of rebellion things. So that's on my immediate pipeline for coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I like that brand. I like the story of the Maze Runner, and I like the way they're telling the story.
Yeah, definitely.
I honestly don't have anything in my timeline that I want to see yet. We'll see. I want these Oscars to happen.
Everyone's waiting. Nothing great's coming out just because of the Oscars, everything like that. Another one that might be a potential is The Greatest Showman. That one seems to have been surprising people too, as a musical with Hugh Jackman about kind of the not like a literal history of him, but P.T. Barnum guy. But if you like musicals, everyone says that one's really worth watching, so keep that in.
Yeah, it's from the same people that brought La La Land to the screen. I'm just in awe from Hugh Jackman, period. Him going from a movie like Logan, which was so awesome, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an X-Men fan. Just the story in itself, and he finally got to do Wolverine the way that he wanted to do Wolverine. To something like The Showman, like he is just a consummate, thespian.
Yeah, an all-around great person. He actually, about a year or two ago, he out in Sydney, someone was drowning off of the coast in his boat, and he saw it in his yacht, and he went to go save the guy. So, all-around good guy.
Yeah, most definitely.
Definitely a national treasure for Australia.
All right. Well, listen, guys, as always, thank you for letting us know what to spend our money on and what to save it on and what to go to Netflix. Have a great week, and we'll talk next week, okay?
All righty.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Never felt like this before. This life feels incredible. Together we can do anything. So eternal feels like infinity. Baby, I'd run till the end of time just to have you in my life. I'll never let go. Give me your hand, come grab a hold. Let me touch you right to your soul. Let's do it together, make it last forever. Let's let it be for all eternity. Till the ends of the earth, I will follow you, girl. I'll love you forever, forever, forever. Till the ends of the earth, I will follow you, girl. Many girls have come and they have gone, but no one compares to you. Yeah. So baby, I'm trying to make you see our future feels like a fantasy. No doubt this love is here to stay, and I know you feel the same way. Never let go. Give me your hand, come grab a hold. Let me touch you right to your soul. Let's do it together, make it last forever. Let's let it be for all eternity. Till the ends of the earth, I will follow you, girl. I'll love you forever, forever, forever. Till the ends of the earth, I will follow you, girl. Day I felt to be everything you thought you'd ever need. I love you forever. I love you forever. Girl, I love you forever. I promise I'll always be true. 'Cause can't nobody do it like you. I love you forever. I love you forever. Girl, I love you forever. I love you forever. I'll never let go. Give me your hand, come grab a hold. Let me touch you right to your soul. Let's do it together, make it last forever. Let's let it be for all eternity. Till the ends of the earth, I will follow you, girl. I'll love you forever, forever, forever. Till the ends of the earth, I will follow you, girl. Forever.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Mrs. Ferguson, how's it going?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been a long time.
I know. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How were your holidays?
I cannot complain. Of course, I didn't get, like, my 12-day trip to, like, Aruba or anything. But, you know, other than that, it was fine.
Well, I'm glad you had a good one. Well, I know you have some great things for us. Our first show back of 2018. Go ahead and take it away.
I know. I'm excited to be back.
Yes.
Well, you know, I like to talk about things in advance because I don't want anything to sneak up on anyone. So Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So if anybody has a special someone in their life, you know, a special female someone, they can shop at Victoria's Secret because right now Victoria's Secret is giving away a $15 gift reward card with any $75 purchase, or a $35 reward card with any $150 purchase. And if anyone's been to Victoria's Secret, they know that it's easy to get to both of those amounts quickly. So, that's just something, that you have to offset the cost. Gap is also having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get, and I'm sorry, this is also an online-only sale, so I just want to stress that. If you shop there now, you can get up to 50% off of almost everything online. Plus, you can get an extra 20% off of select items. You just have to use code FREESTYLE at checkout. Today and tomorrow only, Neiman Marcus is having a sale, and they are having a buy one, get one free sale on select items. So that almost never happens at Neiman Marcus last call. So I would hurry up and shop if I were you, if you're looking for anything in particular. Again, they're having a buy one, get one free sale on select items. So that goes for everything. So if you buy one item, you get another item free. If you buy 2 items, you get 2 items free. If you buy 3 items, you get 3 items free, and so forth. You just have to use code FREEBIE at checkout if you're shopping online. Carter's is having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get 40% off of all pajamas. Plus, you can get free shipping on your orders. So if you have any kids in your life, that would be a good place to start or to shop. The Children's Place is also having a sale, and you can get 50% off of everything in the store and online. Plus, you can get free shipping on your order if you're shopping online. Old Navy is having a sale, and you can get 40% off of all jeans, fleece, and outerwear. And that's for men, women, and kids, of course, and babies. Banana Republic is also having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get 40% off of your purchase of $200 or more. So I want to stress that. It's not just 40% off of your purchase, but it's 40% off of your purchase of $200 or more. And if you're shopping online, you need to use code BRWARM. And so that stands for, of course, Banana Republic and WARM. And last but not least, The Limited is having a sale. And if you shop there now, you can get 80% off of their clearance items. Plus, you can get 40% off of their new arrivals. So that's just a little something to start your year off with.
Yeah, and we need to, after all the money you probably spend over the holidays.
Yeah, of course.
Well, listen, thank you as always. Hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next Monday, okay?
Okay, I'll talk to you next week.
All right, right back after this.
But when it comes to me, I'm the last to get my love in. I give until it hurts me more. I know just to say no could mean that I'd break someone, and I'd hate it to happen when I know I'm capable to just say yes. But most lie and abuse, and that gets me. It just makes me want to get in my car and run away. See, I just wanna be somewhere where skies are blue like fairy tales. A secret place where I can stay. I wanna go far away to a place where no one knows the story of my name. True story. I know sometimes there's right and wrong. There is no price for peace of mind. I try to be the one to always help someone. Some can't take it, and I hate it when I'm fully capable to just say yes. But most lie and abuse, and that gets me. It just makes me want to get in my car and run away. Ooh, I just wanna be somewhere where skies are blue.
wanna drift away, yeah. I really want to, yeah. I think I need to. Anybody feel me? So you ain't gotta take me. I'll get in my car, and run away. Some wayward skies are blue like fairy tales, and all my dreams be true. Where I can stay, I wanna go, I gotta go, I need to go. No one knows the story of the day. In my car, and run away. Some wayward skies are blue like fairy tales, and all my dreams be true.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Aaron Cosby. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Stevie K. And 18, brother. Happy.
Is it still cool to say Happy New Year? I know we're like 22 days into the new year, but you know.
Yeah.
I guess it's
what? I think a solid month.
A solid month, yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How were your holidays? How was the break?
Man. It was nice. I went on a 7-day cruise. It was
Can't beat that.
I did not get off the ship for anything. I stayed on the ship, and I did pretty much, I wouldn't say nothing. I just did what I wanted.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, that's part. Okay, let me just break it down. I am not the guy that if I'm on vacation, I have to have an itinerary. Like, okay, at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're gonna do this. At 10 o'clock,
right.
11. I don't like that.
That's me too.
It defeats the purpose of a vacation. Like,
right, exactly. When you have such a schedule, it takes away really from just relaxing and enjoying the cruise or enjoying the the trip, whatever you do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Okay, I can see maybe one day of doing something like that, but if it's every day, oh no.
Right, exactly. You need a vacation to come back off the
vacation. From the vacation. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. But yeah, it was relaxing, peaceful. It went by quick.
Yeah.
Meaning that I am now entering my third week of the spring semester. So
wow.
I know, right? Yes, this is week 3.
That's crazy. Well, I know you'll do well. You did very well last semester, so I know it's only a matter of time.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, what's going on in the world of sports?
All right. Well, let's see. Well, the Falcons. I think last we had talked. The Falcons were possibly going to make the playoffs. We didn't know for certain, maybe not. Well, listeners, you all probably know, yes, the Falcons made the playoffs.
They did, yeah.
And they won the first game.
Right.
They beat the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And then they played the Eagles. And
that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. They played the Eagles. Okay. Saying that a team should win when they don't win is I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But I really thought the Falcons were going to make a run. I did. I thought they were going to make a run and just get that redemption. Okay.
Right. And that's what I was waiting for. Yeah.
I was waiting on them to just turn the on switch on, and they did it in Los Angeles, but I guess the switch broke in Philly.
Right.
The switch was broke, burnt, toe up, flow up. Yeah, it didn't work. So they lost. Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the playoff game last weekend when they played the Saints?
No, I did not. But my timeline was going crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was crazy. Crazy. Okay, Stephen, listeners, I can sometimes be a conspiracy theorist on certain things. To me, I thought that the defensive player's name is Marcus Williams for the Saints. I'm sorry, I thought that he was signed, sealed, delivered, bought, paid for. I'm like, nah, this can't. How do you not? How do you just? I mean, you didn't even. What kind of? It's. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it.
Leave it there. Yeah.
I feel bad for him though, Stephen. I feel bad for the guy. I'm like, okay, they're gonna have a billboard out with his face on the down in New Orleans. This man might want to just stay in Minnesota, witness protection, something, because they're gonna come for him. They are those. Yeah, they're gonna come for him. But I was surprised. Like people did come for him initially, but I would say after maybe like Monday, Tuesday, people was like, okay, he was trying to not get a penalty.
Right.
We get it. We understand. We're moving on. Bruh, if that was the Falcons,
that'd been it.
And the defensive player did that. Oh, bump that. Nah, sorry. Nope. Nah. Nope. Pack your bags. Close up your locker. Nice knowing you. Later.
That's it.
Yeah. So anyway, I can go on and on about that. Sorry. But anyway, all right. So Super Bowl set.
Yes.
We got the Pacers and the Philadelphia.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of Philly fans out there, and they are so excited right now. They are so excited now.
But also there are fans that were not Philly fans that are now Philly fans because they just don't want Tom Brady and the Patriots. Yeah. I'm one of those. I wanted the Vikings. Okay, this is what I wanted. I just wanted something fresh, new, different. I wanted the Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars in there. Didn't get my way.
Didn't get your way.
As always. As always. It didn't happen. All right. So Tom Brady and the Patriots again. I'm like, aren't you tired of it, Steven?
Everyone's tired of it. I mean, and Tom Brady has a lot of haters, unfortunately.
Right.
He has a lot of haters. Why do you think people dislike him so much?
I think because he makes it look so easy.
Right.
And it's not, by the way. Tom Brady is an outstanding Hall of Fame player, probably the best quarterback maybe ever. Definitely in the past 20 years. I mean, I would say ever because he's won so many championships. I mean,
right, yeah.
Yeah. And again, he makes it look so easy. Also, he kind of has that golden boy kind of energy about him.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the model wife.
And he's vegan.
He's got that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like his life seems perfect. It just seems perfect. Yeah. But I will say this though. We remember back in the day when Tiger Woods had this, perfect.
Exactly.
I'm not saying Tom Brady's Tiger Woods, but I'm just saying people, all that, what did our moms used to always say? All that glitters isn't what?
And gold.
There you go. I'm gonna let it simmer. Just let it simmer there. But yeah, also I just think people are just tired of seeing. They're just tired of the Patriots. They're always there. It's
right. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
like really, And so that's when people start to think that maybe it's a
conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is rigged. The NFL could be rigged. There are some plays here, some calls there that could have been questionable, So, but anyway, Philly, please win. Please win.
Who do you think is going to win?
Of course. Who do I want?
I know you want Philly to win, but you think the Patriots will?
No, which means that who's going to win?
The Patriots.
There you go. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Just like UGA lost the national championship game to Alabama. They had the game. They lost.
Oh, my God.
Georgia's just cursed, bro.
It's something about the fourth quarter.
Bruh.
There's something about that.
Something about Georgia's football in the fourth quarter, pro and college. It's like they feel like they're not worthy of it.
Right, exactly.
It's psychological. It is psychological, man. It is like, okay, we busted our butts these first three quarters. And in the fourth quarter, it's like, oh, man. Well, we might not be the better team. They're actually the better team. They won the championship. It's Alabama was the Patriots.
Right.
That was what it. Yeah. And something triggered them, and they just got tight and nervous, and you could actually feel it. You could feel it. You could feel the game changing.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately,
I would just think in my head like, this is really just sad. It's sad. It's sad. Like, they are going to give this game away. They are really going to give it. They gave it to them. Just gave it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it away.
Wow.
Pathetic. So, but it happened.
I guess we'll see what happens Super Bowl Sunday. We'll see what happens.
Go Eagles. Congratulations, Tom Brady. Congratulations, Tom Brady. I'm going ahead and say it, congrats. So, anyway, that's it, man. I don't, I ain't got nothing else to talk about right now as far as with sports, because there's really nothing else really to talk about.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the Super Bowl.
Football.
And,
football and everything. So, right now.
All right. Well, everyone, as always, thank you to everybody where they can keep up with you on social media.
All right. I'm under construction. So right now it's still Aaron Cosby on, Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff, and Instagram. But I might be changing up. So I will keep everybody posted. But, yeah, I might try to change that up a little bit. So.
All right. Well, everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you again next Monday, okay?
All right, brother.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
If I had one bullet left, would it be for you or be for me? I don't know who's more to blame for leaving me in all this misery. I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. If I had 1 minute left, I'd kiss you 50 seconds of the time. The last 10 I'd say I'm sorry, and kiss you once more right before I close my eyes. Took you for granted till you finally up and had it. Oh, I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. I shouldn't have took you for granted till you finally up and had it. Shouldn't have took you for granted. Oh, you had it. Oh.
If I had one bullet left, I shoot the clock and yeah, I fuck the time. All the years that I wasted, honestly, there's no way to apologize. You shouldn't took me for granted. Yeah, hell yeah, up and had it. Yeah, you shouldn't have took me for granted.
I'm sorry. I know I took you for granted, babe.
You took me for granted. Oh, now I'm fucking heady.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
My heart, boy.
I know.
Well, listen, that's our show tonight. I want to thank you so much for joining us. I want to give a shout-out to Jose Tony Garcia. Don't forget, the Showtime series, The Shy, airs every Sunday night. And then Tye and Savage of the Articulate Podcast. Shout-out to them. Their podcast airs every Thursday on their website, thearticulatepodcast.com. I want to thank you so much again for tuning in. And listen, have a great week. And we'll talk to you next Monday. Good night.
Tonight, as long as on me, everything's gonna be alright.